Whoa. Tired of living broke, so before I sleep, I pray. Then I woke up.
All right, hi everybody. We are on the podcast for Titus. The podcast is called.
What is it called?
It's called Titus and Friends.
She don't know where she at. Let's just.
It's called Titus and Friends, and we do it again. That's what it's called.
That's not the name of it. So, welcome to an episode of Crab Legs and Kool-Aid. It's your boy, Titus ERLY Makin, baby. And this is just a podcast where we talk. I can't. Where we talk openly. Sometimes it's important stuff. Sometimes it's not important at all. The point is, we vibing and we getting to know the artist behind the artist. The person, let's say that. The person behind the artist, because what is art? Art is what you make it. You feel me? So we're getting to know the person behind the artist. Yo, so let me tell you a little something about who we got in here today. This young lady, young was Passover, I don't know. This woman is
You can call me young.
is not only a fantastic actress, singer, person, and actually, you know what? Before I even say her name, I'm going to go ahead and throw some flowers your way because, actually, no, Cap, I'm going to do it after I say your name so they can see your face if we haven't cut to you by now anyway. Yo, welcome, Loren Lott. So let me tell you the flowers I was going to do. So the flowers I was going to throw your way was, I appreciate, we're going to start deep. Look, we starting, I have a heart.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate your heart, but you're one for the people. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I've known this woman for doggone. It might be 10 years. I might be say about 10 years.
Oh,
but she's always been for the people. Like she's always been, no matter how successful something I'm doing is, or how independent and cheap it is, or how middle ground it is, she's gonna show up. So that's a big win because you don't find that in Hollywood. Granted, she's not from Hollywood, so that might explain that. But also, she be here. And I'm like, yo.
I'm going to show up.
That's what I'm saying. If you support me like that, how many other friends do you support like that? Maybe that's just who you are.
It's a lot of supporting. It's a lot of showing up.
Okay, so we naturally kind of just diving in, but this wasn't even a set thought or question. It just kind of came up right now. But like, what does that look like to support? This is the layered question. Let me take one layer at a time. So as an artist in Hollywood, it's easy to not receive support.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, where do you find it in yourself to just like
to support
people when if you have your own thing, they might not even show up.
They might not show up. So the thing is, I think that by the grace of God, I have been very supported. Like, you know, for a lot of people growing up in high school and things, you have to convince a lot of people that you're going to make it.
Touche.
And I think that leads you down this path of like, well, I'm going to show the haters. I don't think I really had that. I think that I was very spoiled, and it started at home with my mother. My mother never let me stop.
It always starts at home.
Doesn't it? Because some people you have to convince your parents and things. Like I didn't have that. But not only that, I don't know why, but everybody always believed in me. They always believed that I would do it.
And that is a blessing because
that's not everybody's story. And when I look back, I'm like, why is it? And I'm like, I always had the support. So I think because I received that gift, whenever I'm in the presence of another artist who is trying to do something, I'm like, oh, I'm going to support. Like one of my friends, my bestie, she was talking about how she felt like I was one of the first friends to leave space for her, even though we were doing the same thing.
Hold on, pause. Because you almost zoomed past a word. The spirit-led word almost slid in there. So wait. Leaving space. Let's talk about that.
When you leave space for somebody, the way that I interpret it is, even though we are doing the same thing, I trust that God has a plan for me, and that no matter what you're doing, how good you are, it's not actually going to interfere with my path, because God has a path that is special for me. So it doesn't matter if you are more talented, more beautiful, whatever.
Right.
If God wants this for me, there's nothing that's going to get in the way. So it doesn't get in my way at all to help you.
And I'm allowing you to be as great as you can be. I'm not trying to dim that at all.
And there's nothing worse than being rich alone. There's nothing worse than you're the only one at the restaurant. You're the only one. I want my friends to win, and I want us all to make it, to be multi-millionaires and like kill it. And why would I want to be up there alone? I want to help you the best that I can.
100%.
And the real reality is God has a plan for all of us. So it really does not matter. I will say I went in for a role one time. And I knew I didn't get it. I knew I didn't have this role. I knew it. So I sent it to a friend.
The
I said,
truth
hey,
in
I'm
that
going to go in
statement.
for it.
Yeah.
But please know, I want this role. It's calling you. This is your role.
Yeah.
Why'd I book it? Why'd I book it? And this was a role. I was like, this.
You were
I
supposed
would
to be giving
never.
back.
I would never. But just the fact that I was even open to sharing it, and then God blessed me
Right.
with it when I doubted myself. But I was happy to share it. I shared it. And even though I shared it and I knew that she was truly a better pick for this role, I still got it.
That's
you know,
wild.
it's like, it does not, I've heard crazy stories of how people booking things where I was like, wow, you, okay, all right, cool. Because it does not matter. If God wants it for you, it's yours.
That part.
And so I am very happy and open to leaving space for my friends. And I think because I do that, I look and I see other situations. I see people growing. And another thing, I've seen a lot of extras become movie stars. Cuba Gooding Jr. It was an extra in Coming to America. And I see him every time I watch the movie and I see him getting his haircut. I'm like, so don't underestimate.
What's my girl's name? Sherry Shepherd used to be an extra in a lot of stuff. So she was just in the background of stuff.
Yes. And who treated her like she was less than?
Octavia Spencer?
Thinking like she was going to be. And people will treat you less than, thinking like, oh, you're going to be. So whenever I see somebody starting something, because somebody always had to start something to be where they are. So if I see you starting somebody, I'm gonna support you.
Yo,
because you could.
Welcome to Loren Lott podcast, because I'm a student at this point and I'm cool with it because she dropping dimes. But yo, the crazy thing about everything you're saying is the fact that you make it sound easy, and it should be that easy. But how sad is it that not even half, 80% of the people that we come across in this industry, I don't know about every other industry, but I'll speak for ours.
Yeah,
is the complete opposite of that, where it's like,
well, you do have to talk to yourself. I will say, like,
why do you feel like I'm a threat? Like, I don't get that. Like, because it was never gonna be for me if it was not for me.
That's just our crabs in the barrel mentality for a lot of us, especially like Black entertainers historically have not had the opportunities that white entertainers have.
Yep.
So
without a doubt.
Yeah. So you
debate us. Because you take it up in the comment. It's a fact. A lot of us think like crab in the barrel, or it's extremely competitive. You know, when a lot of times it doesn't have to be as much, right? Because if it's yours, it's yours. But it does feel like there's only one place. In this whole movie, there's gonna be one Black person versus there's 18 white people. Yep. So you do feel like it feels a little more competitive. But even today, there's a lot more opportunities for us, which I think is why a lot of us are a lot more like open. But even interracially, the competitiveness as far as like with an interracial friendship.
Yeah,
there's still people that are like they don't want to support your shine because you might make it first, even though we're not even the same.
But I think people also don't understand, and I think a lot of people are kind of on the more selfish side, where it's like when some people make it, they will leave you.
Oh,
so I think there's that idea versus if I make it, everybody around me is coming with me.
And why not?
If I'm here, when I started going to these red carpets, I'm taking my best friend Jasmine or my bestie Adina, and y'all are coming with me. And then when you have something, you take me. Yeah. Jasmine just took us on our first international brand trip.
Is that why I saw y'all?
That was her doing, and I had to be approved for it as a creator. But still, that was her pull. And I know if we hadn't been doing all that we had done, like she probably would not have had that opportunity. And I planted the seed, she grew it, and then she was able to bless me. You know, like it's like. That's how you have to look at it. So it's like, but also you do have to find people who are supportive, because I know some people who just take. Because if I was giving like this, and it's on the other side where it's not the type of people, I'm not dealing with the type of people who will give back
or nourish
even
that.
Then it does feel kind of like Like I did have some friends like that where I just felt like this is one-sided.
And I'm in a season, and I mean this is a slight pivot, but still in the same world. I'm in a season of cutoff culture.
Oh, 100%.
But it took me a long time. As you know, you've seen me with a lot of different friends and groups.
It took me about 3 years to embrace cutoff culture.
What?
And now I don't even enter into it.
What?
I will peep at the beginning that you are not my type of people, because I used to take it personal. I want everybody to like me. I'm such a people pleaser. I'm so lovey-dovey. You know, goofy people, we have that problem. It's so like, I just want to be liked, and you have to like me. You have to love me. You have to think that I'm so cool because I think you're really cool and I want to be besties.
And why would you? And why would it not be amicable?
Yeah, why wouldn't you love me? Like I'm gonna love you.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And it don't exist. It's not real. Woo!
It's not
and
that.
Let me tell
and you have to accept it.
You have to accept
it, or else you're going to hurt yourself over and over again.
Let me tell you. And the way that it looks like I'm hyping this up, but it's so real, because this is what my life has been heavy for the past few years.
Especially when you are a goofy person. People will come to you and just...
Yep.
and just suck
Yep.
everything out of you because you're goofy. They know you're going to support.
Yep.
They know that you're going to, and they will never offer
See,
that back.
me and Loren have similar personalities. I wonder this about you. People consider me an extrovert because I'm loud. In spaces, I tend to take the top energy because I feel like I want to keep the energy flowing, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of switching out of that now as I get older, where I'm just allowing myself to be in the middle space.
Yeah.
But do you consider yourself an extrovert or introvert?
I consider myself, so I'm telling you,
I
I
have
don't
a
know
guess.
what's going, I don't know what's happening because when I was young,
Yeah.
extroverted to a T. You
Okay.
couldn't get me
This
out.
is what I was
I
gonna guess,
needed
yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I guess I'm turning more introverted. So I guess I'm an introverted extrovert.
Yes, I was about to say, I think you can
Or
be
maybe an extroverted
introvert.
No, I think I'm an introverted extrovert.
Whatever, I think you're both.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I've turned into both because I was not like this. I did not need to
I feel
recharge
like the industry
alone.
did this to us. Like my buddy made a good point. He was like, "Oh, Jordan, our boy Jordan." Literally, he said this in Nashville recently. He was like, "Bro, I'm kind of finding that now too because he's like us." He's like, and I think it's because at a younger age, because we started doing
Oh yeah,
the
we all
industry in
did
our
start
formative years,
young. Yeah.
where it's like we learn to turn on, and it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. It's just like, oh, this is what you're expecting of me, so I'm gonna meet it because I'm
Yeah.
capable of meeting it, not because I'm uncomfortable meeting it, but because I'm capable of it. So I don't want you to view me as anything other than a positive experience.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring in that positive energy. He made that good point. He was like, so I think you can be extroverted by obligation, but not obligation because you still want that energy,
Yeah,
but like
I want it.
by
It's just my
by
battery.
training. But
My
you
battery
might be
doesn't
introverted.
last as
Yeah, you
long
might
anymore.
be introverted actually, but your extroverted shell shines. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or
That's
maybe
something-
because of what we love to do,
Right.
maybe we confused the love of attention with being extroverted because I do love
Ooh.
attention.
Yeah, but I love that honesty. I love that. I love that.
I will be honest.
Yes.
I am a look at me kid.
Yes.
Look at me.
Yeah.
But then don't leave me alone a little bit.
But exactly. But you know what? Hold on, because that almost pissed me off a little bit because that just brought me to the next topic that I just. This is how my ADD mind. A podcast is perfect because I have ADD and I bounce topics anyway, so it's perfect for me. That brings me to men pursuing women. So hold on, okay, because you just said something that has been eating me alive because I don't think as men we know the answer to it. You feel me? So I feel like, general statement, throw a hammer at me after I say this if you want. Many women, I'm trying to tiptoe because, choose your words wisely. Many women appreciate the attention.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in an arrogant way, but like they want to.
No, you're right. You're right.
They put work into how they look.
Keep it going.
Okay. You put work into how you look. You're like, as we all do, but you do your hair, your makeup, like,
yeah.
To be appreciated is fine. So for a guy to be like, oh, you're beautiful, or like, oh my gosh, I think it's not honest if anybody, let's not even say women or whatever, anybody doesn't admit that was cool hearing that. Like, I'm okay with now we ain't saying like you walking down the street, people hollering at you and like saying all that. I'm just talking about like regular affirmations.
Yes.
Great. So the thing that the topic I'm actually getting to is you said, but like also leave me alone. So where do we stand as a man pursuing a woman?
Yeah.
The amount of, and I'm gonna just be candid because there's this girl on Instagram. Well, actually, Cap, we met on Hinge. And it transitioned to Instagram and we talking. There's this weird line that apparently people that do Hinge stuff know about, like, oh, you don't want to take too long to ask for a number because they'll disappear. You don't want to take too long to ask for Instagram and get it off of Hinge because then whatever. So there's like this window of like, how many days is right? How many hours is right? Whatever. So we switched it to Instagram. Attention, great. Then I say, hey, let's go grab coffee or dinner, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't want it to feel too whatever. That's another topic because I'm like, is dinner too fast for you to be like, oh, it's dating, or is coffee like too easy for you to like, why did he not just ask me to dinner? There's a lot of topics I'm throwing at you, but the first one is I'm giving you attention, but how much is too much before you're at a point as a woman that you're like, like what is that line?
Let me tell you something.
Because she's kind of disappeared a little bit, but she agreed to go to dinner.
If she likes you, then just pursue her. Because honestly, I don't even want to play the games anymore. And if I have to play the games with you, then that's fine. You're not. We don't have to play together. And that's okay. And that's okay. I think that right now we're in this place of like, well, what's the right this? What's the do you like me?
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, then take me out. Okay, great. Okay. But I also will, if I disappear, just take that as loud as it is. I'm not playing hard to get. I'm direct. If I like you, I tell you I like you.
Ooh.
But that's me. I've been working for years on being direct and talking to myself, and I'm in therapy, and like I am life coaching.
Another topic,
and like
Black community therapy.
No, you
okay.
have to. If you are Black, you need to be in life coaching and therapy. You have to, because we have generational curses that are attached to us. You have to be, because there's things that sometimes you're carrying and you don't know why, and it's not even you. And
let me reiterate this before we go back to the male woman conversation towards the people that aren't of darker complexions. White people, Hispanic, whoever watching right now that doesn't know what we're talking about. The reason we're saying that about Black community is because it's essentially in our households. It's something in our culture that it's not that it's not accepted. It's just not. It's
kind of looked down on. It's like, oh, you don't really need it.
It's like you don't need it.
It's like, nah,
it's like you better talk to God. You better talk to God about that. Or like you better figure it out.
Our culture has truly been taught to suppress.
Yes.
And it's it's a thing.
That's why.
So now we're learning to open up.
I love that about what you said, that you're going to be upfront. Sad part is that
most people are not, but I have been on the other side where, because I wasn't trying to be indirect. I was actually really uncomfortable.
In this particular situation?
In most.
Many.
If I didn't like you,
and
you were pursuing me really heavy, and if I already told you, like, no, I don't think that, but you keep going, that at the time, that was the only tool I had for rejection. That was it. So if you push me past that, I didn't have any other tools. So now I'm kind of stuck. I told you how I felt. You didn't honor it. I don't know what else to do.
Right.
So I would be stuck of like, okay, all right, well, I already told you I don't like you. So like, I don't know what else to say, because I don't want to hurt your feelings, because the people pleaser in me is going to die.
And you're saying that's what leads to the disappearance.
That's what led me to disappear. So then I'm going to ghost you. I'm going to whatever, because I don't have the communication skills yet.
So let's put you in. Let's play out the current situation I'm talking about. And maybe you can tell me where maybe her mind might be.
Okay.
So if we're talking, everything's good. I asked you to dinner.
Yeah.
Or coffee. You're like, absolutely, great. Yeah. What date? So this is the truth of the situation. What date? And I said, what does your Friday or Saturday look like? Great. But mind you, in the midst of this, we're not talking every day. Some days will go by just because we have lives. And then she responds and she says, Saturday's good, but I don't see it till Saturday, which means I missed it. So I responded back like, oh my gosh, I'm just opening this. My fault, I was still loved, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, awesome. I don't know when, because I might be going on a trip, blah. She goes on the trip. I go on a trip.
Oh.
And then I said.
So I will say,
oh no.
Even letting days go by without talking is, if you like me, you're probably not going to do that. And let me tell you something. Yeah. I was definitely.
Dang, that's real.
I mean, I was just going to say I was pursued by somebody. I'm not going to go too deep, but
it was probably somebody good too. Ooh, she be having some good people in them DMs. All right, go ahead.
I do.
Yeah, I know. I know. Go to her TikTok or Instagram, and you can only imagine who be in the. All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead. I was like, that's the tea we really want, but we ain't gonna do that to you.
I would never be one of those girls who's like, oh, blah, blah was in my DMs. I think that's so lame when girls do that. I'm like, girl. And that just lets me know you're not on even playing field with them if you're super excited and blah, blah, slid in your DMs. If you're like, that's so lame. Girl, not you being cloudy.
Being cloudy.
But I will fall back. I'm team fall back. I'm looking for every reason to fall back because I have a lot of walls up and I'm scared. And that's what happens after you just been through things with men. You just like, oh, I know, well, I'm looking for that, that. Especially as you get older, it's like, I'm not about to fall for this one again, because this last one destroyed me. So Right. But one guy, he made his intentions very clear, and I wasn't in the place to date.
But we appreciated the honesty.
I thought it was great. Let me know, but don't be my friend and let me know randomly, like. That's the worst.
Come in
but like
the right angle.
Come in. Don't sneak in and try to like come in direct. And
brothers, this is kind of I mean, I know everybody's different, but that's kind of some good tea right there because
then we can establish it from the beginning. If I just from the beginning say like, oh no, I'm not looking for that, but I think you're cool.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be my friend, that's cool.
So is there any reality where a friend does have the opportunity to switch over?
I think that there are. I think it's just very specific.
It's very specific. Because I feel like that's a lot of guys' angle is we like, all right, bet. Well, she's talking to somebody. She's out of my league, which I feel like, and this is not to like gas you, it's just facts. Like, I feel like there's probably a lot of dudes that feel like you're out of their league. And honestly, rightfully so, because some of them probably are. But
I was saying, he was very direct. And I said, okay. And I started trying to be distant. And then, for a second, he let that happen. Okay. And then randomly, he sent me a text, and never just hit me with a like, hey, how you doing? Just checking on you. He would send something like, hey, I just want to know, did you crap on niggas today? And I'd be like, I was like, wow, you are funny.
I'm taking notes.
So he came in, he would come in with that angle.
Yeah.
And then I was still kind of like distant, but like now I'm responding. Now before I know it, we're kind of talking every day.
Yeah.
Tag. And then he was like, yeah. So I'm like, he's trying to take me out. And I was like, yeah, no. I guess.
So he won you over.
But this was very slow and he was very intentional.
When we say slow, what span? What amount?
With this span, this was about.
Are we talking a couple
months?
months?
With him being this intentional? No. It was like a week and a half.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about.
So I'm thinking. Okay. Let me tell you something. Yeah. Not that I'm like cool. Not that I'm but there is always somebody trying. So if you're moving slow, there's somebody else who's not. Ooh. If you're skipping days, there's another man who's not skipping days. And he's trying to make that very clear.
I definitely.
And he's just
days.
Looking, and if she's a cutie too, or if a lot of guys even are just giving her attention, I promise you, there is somebody else who is not letting her forget them. And this man, he didn't leave room for anybody else to even come in. So I was just like,
so what we're saying is I should let that one go, probably.
I think you, especially letting her go on a trip and not asking for constant pictures while she's gone, or like just being.
Dang, that's yo.
Like if I want to know,
she a nigga for real. That's vibe. That's you put me on game.
And this man even he made it clear from the beginning, like, I don't text good morning because I have ADHD and it's going to become a task.
Right.
So I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to whatever, but I'm not going to be like texting you good morning.
Yo, let's talk about how gold it is. It's like, send me some pictures on the trip. That's not
like, that's kind
of cute.
It is cute. Or like just something that lets me know like, hey, I know that you're having a good time. Can I see? Like just something that makes it really like, I like you.
Yo, I'm out of
because
the game.
If you're passive
that's
with
genius.
me, if you're nonchalant with me, there's somebody else who's chalanting. So I'm telling you right now, somebody else is chalant. Be chalant with me.
If you don't chalant with me, somebody else is gonna chalant.
This man, he did not leave room for anybody else. He was very like timely and just like, and then I tried to play, I really tried to play with him. So I tried, I was like, because I was like, I know I'm not in the place to date and I don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
So I was trying to leave space so that he would see that. And he was like, nah. So then he put us in a shared note of first date questions because I kept trying to ask him things because I was like, I don't even want to know going on a date. I'm just going to ask you things right now and then we can get this over with and then go on a separate way. And he put us and so I would ask him questions. He would copy and paste it and put it in the shared note and put like a. And
so with all this said,
yeah.
Where are y'all now?
Okay, so then what happened was, I'm gonna tell you what happened.
After all that, it didn't work.
So then, no,
what happened was, but it ain't work.
What happened was, I was still playing, and then I was like, and then he called me. He said, I think you're confused. I'm trying to take you out. I am trying to take you on a date. So I don't know how I need to ask you different, but I'll say it on the phone. Loren Lott. I'm trying to take you on a date. And I was like,
trying to take you on a date.
Okay. And then he was like, do you want to go sooner or do you want to go later? Because I don't.
He didn't give you an option to no.
No.
You want to go sooner or later?
Do you want to go sooner or later?
Nigga, is there a no? Can I check yes or no?
and so I said, because he asked me like that, I was like, dang, that was a really good, because how dare you respect me? So I was like,
how dare you respect
me? So then I was like, well, I guess sooner, because now I want to see what it's giving. So then we went sooner, but he kept it a chill day. Like the first date was like the race cars.
Okay, that goes back to my other question. Coffee, dinner, like what's a level that a lot of women like?
I really think that depends on the girl, and I think that's up to you as a dude to kind of check who this chick is. Like, I'm a goofy girl, and I'm clearly fun, and I'm clearly gonna go with a flow.
Right.
There's certain girls who will not, but look at her. If she's on social media and if the girl has her body done,
Oh.
At all.
Oh, when we say done, like surgery or like she's
Surgery.
keeping it tight? Surgery. Okay.
If the girl has
Okay.
surgery,
Yeah.
please know you have to come with money and you have to come a certain way. If you don't have money and you're not like in a rapper status or whatever,
Yeah.
don't waste your time with her. Because for one, she's gonna get on your nerve. It's gonna get on your nerve.
I didn't say it,
So and for two, like
but she's not
you're
wrong.
gonna waste your time and you're gonna waste your like she's looking for a certain thing because if she has her body done, she's been treated a certain way. Because I'm gonna just be honest.
That's a big fact, though. That's
it's
like
a big fact.
You just dropped
you
a
have
big
to
one.
come with money, and then if
a big
not,
old fat dookie.
if she's an actress and she has been working,
Yeah.
or if she has a good job, then you still need to come correct, like you know you have to pay
because she's
and
on her stuff. Like,
because
be
she's
on
on her
yours.
stuff. So
Yeah.
and you can't. If she treats herself better than you treat her, she's gonna be out.
That part. And that's fair. I think that goes across the board, no matter what industry. I'm like, if you are hustling and doing your thing, at least let me be hustling to meet your energy in whatever field.
You have to meet it.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
I think
That's
that
fair.
he did a really good job on the first date of like he was like, okay, we'll keep it chill. And he did ask, like he wasn't like trying to guess and stuff. He was like, okay, well, he's like, I'll plan the date, but like, are you okay with, with it chill or do you want to go more fancy? And I think that's okay to ask. I think that we've put men in a really funny situation where they have to play this like whack-a-mole of like figuring it out. And it's like, actually, you can just ask. And if she's not okay with asking, then her expectations might be off. And you probably don't want to deal with that.
Which is not a match for you anyway.
Yeah, it's not a match. If she's too, like, if you have to play too many games, then don't play them. There's another woman who will not make you play those games. And I think that's okay.
No, that's good.
That's okay. There is a baller dude who wants this type of girl. He wants that type of girl.
Right, he wants that.
And that's another thing, ladies. If you have to text him first, if you have to kind of play this game where you have to kind of let him know your presence, please let him go because there's another woman who he's thinking about. And you know what? Also, there's a lot of men who will pursue you and date you. They will get you to a certain place, but the reality is they miss their ex. Ha! And you don't know what's going on. You don't know why it's getting funny with them, and they miss somebody. And they probably don't even want to admit that to themselves because a lot of men are taught to suppress. So
do y'all taste something funny in your mouth? Because
so sis, protect yourself. Protect yourself and leave him alone. Anytime that you feel like you are doing the pursuing, and I'm not talking about if you're dating a man who's busy and has a job, but he's being intentional with you, that's not the same. Because sometimes, I've dated men where we're not going to talk for like majority of the day, but we will talk when they're off work or before they're on. Yeah. And that's okay. You got to know who you're dealing with. But if it's not that and they are just not communicating with you the way that you want to be and even if they're just not communicating the way you want to be communicated with, let it go. If you don't want to date a man who works during the day and doesn't communicate with you most of the day because it will make you feel insecure, honor that. It's okay to feel that way. Let him go. There's a man who it matches. Yeah. The life will match and you won't feel like you have to tug and pull. If you want good morning text every day and you're dating a guy maybe who does have ADHD where it does feel like...
Not her pointing to me.
Where it feels like a task, but that doesn't make you feel secure, but he's trying to make you feel secure in other ways that actually match with him. But if that's not going to work for you, let him go. There's a match for you and you don't have to play these games.
And let me just jump in as a guy. You're right. Because I'm not going to hold you. There's been multiple times where I'm letting it fall by the wayside and not responding as much or not keeping the energy going because I'm not that interested.
I'm not that interested.
I am interested in the option, but I'm not. If I was really locked in and interested in the pursuit, I would be. Because just like women and men, when you're single, we juggling options.
Yes.
To keep it real, we juggling options.
But there is somebody, there's always a girl who a man really wants. And men are not like us. They're not going to waste their time and kind of play these games. Men are very direct.
Yep.
So if he is like, I just don't know if we're really compatible, believe him.
And a lot of my friends will be like, oh, Titus, like, you don't really date often. That's because when I'm interested, it's clear.
It's very clear.
And I'm going for it full force.
And I've made that mistake of thinking like, oh, well, I mean, he kind of treats me like this, but like he says that he no, girl, go by how he treats you. Right. And even if he's treating you a certain way, but he's telling you a certain way, if you don't like the way you're being treated, leave.
Right.
Leave that anyway. Like what I've been learning just through working on myself is you actually don't have to suffer through anything. Ooh. If you're sitting in a situation where the guy might be nice, but your needs aren't
preaching
met
to somebody.
in this
Somebody
way,
need to hit it.
That's okay. It doesn't mean that he's a terrible person. It doesn't mean that you're a terrible person. It just means that you guys aren't a match. Because that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt his feelings. A man will always be willing to hurt your feelings. He will always be willing to choose himself. Every man is going to choose himself. He's going to put himself first. Put yourself first. Men will always choose themselves.
Dang, she comes across
so
the river.
True. It's so true.
You're
and
not
even
wrong,
if a man is being good to you, And if he's caring for you, he still chose himself first. You're just getting the benefit of that. Like, he will always choose himself first. So choose yourself first. And if you don't like it, let it go, because he would do that. If he's not being direct, or if he feels like indirect, whatever, and it's like, I don't know. If you're questioning, go. Men are very direct.
That's true. I'm not going to argue with none of that. I mean, she's not wrong. But
and if he is arguing with it, like, no, I guess that, no. And you know what it's like to be liked. You know what it's like when a boy likes you.
That's a big thing. Being able to feel. You can feel when you're.
You know what it's like. And I know what it's like when a man likes me and he is pursuing me.
Yeah.
I also know what it's like when you're dealing with a man and you're like, dang, I just don't know why. And then you try to leave him. And then he starts pulling out all the stops because he had the stops. That means he knew what to do the entire time. He knew what to do the entire time and made a choice. He made a choice to take you for granted. Let him go.
Look, you got me putting my own genetic code on blast, you know. But that's true. And the same for the women too, brothers. Like, if what she said, we ain't about to get into it. Everything she said flipped around. It still exists because women is players too. Just saying, because some of these people out here think that women ain't sliding through options too.
Let me tell you, a woman is always sliding through. She's always sliding through options. But the
I'm not
goal
saying that
is
she's
that you
hoeing
guys
around. I'm
both are
saying
at
that
the
she's
top.
juggling options.
The goal is that you both are at the top of each other's list.
Exactly.
Because that's when it'll match.
What are your icks?
My icks.
Specifically with dating, like not friendships.
Specifically when you are any type of belittling.
Oh, give me an example if you can.
Sometimes men will take jabs at you, and they're not funny jabs. They're to hurt your feelings.
Oh,
there's an undermined jab that is to hurt your feelings. It's the type of dude who, like, on your wedding day will put pie on your face, will put the cake on your face when that's not who you guys are in a relationship, and he'll put it in your hair, but it's to make everybody else laugh. Or you guys are both going to jump in the pool, and he takes that as a perfect time to prank you and have you jump in the pool by yourself in your wedding dress.
So do we?
So it's just like they're just things that, like, it's like men don't joke the same way. And that's what I learned as well. It's like they will make jokes, but it's not the same joke as how you would make it. So it's like there's just certain belittling things.
What's like another
where it's
ick?
Like an ick. An ick is any type of rudeness. It's so loud. Any type of, like,
what about
being demeaning. And men do it in such passive ways. And I've learned now to look for it as a red flag.
Okay.
Of just like.
What about something as simple as, like, chewing loud? Or like.
Okay.
Like,
so a lot of girls have icks like that.
Yeah.
And I'm so past that at this age where that's not.
Or what
really
about, like, height or
me.
bald or, you know what I'm saying? Like, my sister used to have some icks.
So I don't mind you being bald at all.
Hey, you heard it.
I do mind if you won't allow yourself to be bald.
Oh.
It's an ick. It's an ick. It is an ick. If
Wait,
you are,
that needs to be talked about.
Are balding, and you won't let it happen, and especially if you're young and now it's making you look older.
Don't hang on to the sides. Get rid of it. Wear a beanie. I've never understood that. I'm like, what did you? We can all see that it's happening. Like, if you only have hair here. Or only here, or I'm like, we see what's happening, just get rid of it.
No, and then you go in to get haircuts and have, like, somebody lining up your thoughts. Like, please don't.
Wait, stop.
Please.
Not lining up your thoughts.
He's lining your thoughts and the balding.
Because he's not lining up a hairline.
No, I just went to a store the other day, and this man had beautiful hair. It was, like, all thick right here.
Yeah.
And he bent down to click on something. And when I tell you it was bald, it looked like not only did he shave it, but that he went and rubbed it just to make sure it was bald. And it was bald. And he had hair. And I was like, I know he's struggling because his hair is so beautiful. But when he bent down, it was alarming. It was almost like, oh, wow.
He's still yet holding on.
No, and it's like, bro, let it go. Please let it go. So that is definitely an ick. So
are we talking about even, like, I mean, don't come for me, people that are fans of this person. We're all fans of this person. Like a Stevie Wonder moment where the dreads is holding on back here. And I'm like, all of this is gone.
All of that is gone. But let me tell you something. Stevie Wonder is blind. He can't see it. He don't know what's
But
cute.
who's not
telling
I wonder if anybody's saying, like, hey, my man, your hairline gone.
And you know what he's going to say? I can't see it.
So why do you
it doesn't bother me. When I woke up in the mirror and I couldn't see myself in the mirror, it didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me.
And I appreciate that.
And I appreciate that.
I'm like,
too,
you know
actually.
what? That's okay.
She said he can't. It didn't bother him.
If he looked at himself in the mirror and it didn't bother him, then we're gonna let it go.
Good answer. Because
If it's
you know
somebody else
what?
though, and they're looking at it, because I'm not gonna judge your sanity because you're not seeing nothing.
But-
if you're looking at it and you look like that, I'm gonna judge you a little bit.
Does there come a point where?
Oh, you know another ick?
Oh,
Can
go
I
on.
just say
Yeah,
another
yeah,
ick?
go. Yeah.
When you're musty. And a lot of men, they are musty. And when I tell you something, when I say musty, I mean everywhere. I have smelled men, and this is not men who I am in any type of intimate
Hopefully not. They smell
intimate
like that,
relationships
yeah.
with. I smell your butt.
Ooh.
I can smell other areas in front of your butt. You know that area.
Not in front of your butt.
I have smelled.
She's talking about your pee-pee, boy.
I have smelled your pee-pee.
Man, what does a musty pee-pee smell like? Oh, that's deep.
It smells a little bit like mustard.
I mean, I know because I'm a man. I've smelled.
It's a very specific
What does it smell like to y'all?
It's a very specific smell.
It
Kind
happens.
of like butt. Like we all know the smell of butt.
Like your crease stink.
It's like
Your crease is creasing.
It's a very specific smell, and all of you have it. It's the same smell. And
It's
I
very
have
specific,
smelled.
yeah.
No, I have definitely smelled. I've been sitting next to a man in basketball shorts, and he did not work out, and I've smelled it. And I'm telling you right now, that's an ick. Like why? And what's also an ick is that so many men don't know. So many men don't wash their butts.
Oh, that's
So many men.
facts.
If you are showering and not tip drilling yourself and putting your hand in your butt crack and
Dang,
doing it,
we
then your
gotta
butt
get in there like
stinks.
that?
Yes.
She's not wrong.
If water is running down your butt and you rub the outside, there's a part inside that you didn't touch and it stinks.
I have a friend, and he might listen to this, but this is not that, but it's similar. This Negro said, wait, y'all wash your legs?
So let me tell you about the dead skin cells on his.
He was shocked. He said, oh, I just washed up here and I let the soap in the shower run down my legs. I was like, you never once bent down and scrubbed your legs? You've never once washed your legs.
You've never once bitten down.
The
It's
baffling.
crazy.
The what? And he
No,
was like, he
that
was
is crazy.
dead serious. He was like, no. He was like, the soap runs down. Why do I need to? I'm washing them. I'm like, no. It does not break down the scum that is built up upon thine skin. If
And
you're
you need to be
scrubbing.
using a loofah or something. You need to be scrubbing it clean.
And then he gets on TikTok to you know who you are because that was wild. He's like, but he gets on TikTok and says, y'all, I've been washing my legs now, and I see what you mean. So we're talking years because he's in his 30s. So we're talking years.
And let me tell you something. These are the type of men, like God bless him, but these are the type of men who
And
like
he's not a dirty dude. Like
who
he
like
faded up.
we
He's
will
smelling.
date you. We date you. And then we have to deal with your butt and the smell of your butt and everything else that
But
stinks.
not washing your legs. Like, okay, not knowing how deep to go in your butt crack is an issue as well. But it's a little bit more
How
of a
deep?
foreign territory for some men because they're like, I ain't want to touch back there. They're weird about it. But
Yeah.
your legs are obvious.
I think the butt is obvious because it stinks.
I mean, I agree. The butt is obvious.
I
too.
like
I'm trying to get benefit of that.
literally the dingleberries. Like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing?
Here's a question. And if you're uncomfortable, don't answer. Manscaping or no? Do we like body hair?
Oh, do we like body hair?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Okay. And I think that's a beautiful answer.
I don't care.
There's some women that are like, yeah, get rid of that. That's gross. Or a lot of women that are like, please look like a man. Don't look like a newborn
Yeah,
baby.
I don't care. But you know, I'm at the place in life where I want to know, do you have a relationship with Christ and are you a good man?
And the pivot
And
was real. You
that's
see how she got away from
really-
that? That was good.
That's really what matters to me.
Yeah.
And also, do you smell good? Because that
Hygiene.
attracts me.
Yeah, hygiene.
Is like your scent. And it attracts me at a toxic level. Like I toxically
honesty.
am attracted to cologne. Even if
Man.
we were at home chilling, I like you to wear cologne
even upon marriage in the bed.
in the bed.
Yeah.
After you shower, I need you to put on cologne because I
rolled
do
with
that.
before. And I'm like, is it, do I feel like a try hard if I'm like about to go lay down? Like if I just
No.
shower, about to go watch a movie and you could tell that I just sprayed cologne, do you think I'm
Please.
trying too hard?
It attracts me.
Okay.
And I
Facts.
like
Facts,
literally
facts, facts,
at
facts.
24/7,
Yeah.
I like cologne.
Okay.
And
You
that's
heard
just
it?
me. That's just me.
No.
Not everybody may be with that.
Because I'm like,
And it doesn't have to be cologne. Sometimes there was one dude that I dated.
yeah.
He was awful. He
Like
was awful.
scent?
No, just an
Oh.
awful person.
Oh,
But
copy that.
when I hugged him, his detergent smelled so good.
And how long did it keep you around? The detergent specifically kept
It
you.
took me way too long, embarrassed to say.
It
But
was
I'm
the
telling you that, and he could really sing.
Oh,
I'm
see,
a sucker
talent-
for talent. If you could play
talent
the piano,
I'm a sucker for
like
talent.
I'm a sucker
Any
for like
talent.
musical, but singing is cool. But I be singing.
You
But
be
like
singing for yourself, yeah.
when you can play the piano and like instruments, and
Man.
another like ooh for me is when you say that you do something and you're actually really good at it.
Yo,
Like,
that's real
I have
though.
lost, and that's another ick. If
Yeah.
you aren't good at something that you say you're good at, like if you're like, oh, I'm a photographer,
So-
and then your stuff looks bad, I'm like, oh, I can't trust you.
Okay. Oh, dang.
I can't trust your vision.
That's shady, but also facts,
I
low
can't
key.
trust you.
Then what if he's on the come up? What if he just started picking his camera up?
Then admit that.
Then you're not a full photographer. You're
Then
like,
say like,
I'm-
oh yeah, I'm practicing photography, and I'm gonna get
It's
better.
about the
But if you're
transparency.
like, oh no, I'm a photographer, I charge $1,000, and this is what your stuff looks like, I can't trust you. Or if you tell me like, oh, I sing, and you can't sing, I can't trust you.
Okay, so wait, I've always wondered that actually. I'm like, what does the person do that has the spouse or relationship of the person that's not good at what they're full-heartedly pursuing? So if it's on your heart, I want to be a singer, we're dating, I want to be a singer, I want to be a singer. And I'm like, I don't want to stand in the way of your dreams. Anything can happen. Is it my job to let you know that you're not good? Or, obviously that's not the case here because she's amazing, but is it my job to let you know you're not good? Or is it my job to stay out of the way and let you develop as your partner?
I think if you want to do it and you're like, this is what I want to do, and you're starting it, I'm going to support you. And then
you know when you listen that I'm not good.
But then I'd be like, I'm going to just tell you every time it's not good. And if that's every time, then that's just what you need to know.
Right,
So if it's
okay.
like, if you're doing it and you're like, how was that? I'd be like, oh, it wasn't really that good. I'm going to just tell you.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
So
my
like the
legacy is
her
attached
face
to
is so
yours,
innocent.
and you're gonna.
ooh.
You're not.
We both
you're-
looking crazy out here.
Yeah, we're both looking crazy, and also I want you to be great, and this isn't great.
Oh, and you
And
can
like-
afford to be great, and maybe there should be a pivot. Like
and
maybe
and
that
there might
style
be
of-
something else that you are great at, or we might need to try it in a
You ever
different
try
way.
speak singing? Maybe like flow and like flowetry, like maybe more of an Anderson .Paak vibe.
Or I'm
as
gonna
oppo-
play it back for you. Better yet, so you can hear. You can hear the
And what
two
if you- what if you
walruses
play it
having
back-
sex that you sound like.
What if you play it back and they're like, oh yeah, and they vibing heavy?
Oh wow, then we don't need to be together because you're
because
delusional.
we're just missing.
yeah, and
things.
if that's the
We're
case,
just missing cues.
and like the way at this age, I'm like, I can't stay with you
Yeah.
if you don't have it anymore. If I have to
Man,
like, if I'm
that's
telling you
unfortunate.
like, oh, we can't do it.
Okay. Quote of the day is, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde said that. Also, my stomach is growling, if you heard that too. But Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Thoughts on that quote? I mean, it's-
That's true for me. That's how I feel with what I said about maybe we didn't have that yet. But
But it's
I
somewhere.
definitely agree with that
Yeah.
because God has a plan for all of us
Yeah.
individually.
And it frees
So
you up.
somebody else is definitely taken.
And
And also that does give you some freedom to be yourself. It's like
yeah.
I do just want to focus here. And when you really realize the competition is only with you, it
Yeah.
does free yourself.
100%. And I'm like that, like knowing that quotes like that, reminding myself of quotes like that, and also just getting older, I found it's given me a lot of peace to be like, I mean, me and you have talked about this privately before, where it's like sometimes I get that, oh, you a little whitewash, oh, you black, oh, you, and there's this level of like me trying to meet your expectation of what my
Yeah.
blackness looks like.
Oh my
that
gosh, yeah.
I've rid myself of. I'm
Especially when you're goofy and
Man.
when you're goofy and not maybe as black as how other people see you, it's like then you're fake.
like, right. And I'm like, I've let that go. And I'm like,
I
I'm
definitely
address
did
how
let that
I've
go.
finally got to an age where if my hair wants to be pink, which it is, if my hair wants to be pink, it will be pink. If my clothes want to look like this, if I want to make a joke that sounds more Caucasian, I'm still black. And the experience is this. And I'm like, there's black people out there that are experiencing life the way I'm experiencing life, whether it's Carlton
Yeah.
or not.
No,
He's black.
truly. And
You
he
know
is
what I'm
still
saying?
and he is still black.
Black.
And I think also if you ever are feeling crazy, even
Yeah.
as a black person, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know where I fit, go to an HBCU. There are people like you everywhere.
Y'all,
like
I tried to
there
get
are some
accepted.
people who are super
I
hood and
didn't
there
get
are some people
accepted
who
to
are
either of them. My own fault. I was bad in school, but I tried to go to 2 HBCUs for this because I was like, I want to be submerged. And then I didn't get accepted.
you should have tried one more.
My grades were bad.
Oh,
It wasn't their fault. It was mine.
I mean, ADHD do this sometimes. The
I
focus.
barely graduated high school.
Oh, look. You know what's so crazy? You were so intelligent. And I feel like our school system doesn't honor people who are like that.
And I
where it's
hate that you
like-
said that
Where
because
it's like you are clearly
I love
so
that you said it.
smart, you're so structured, you like really get things done.
yeah.
And these are qualities that of intelligence.
Yo,
And they make us feel dumb because I have dyslexia. So my learning style was always different. And I know that I grew up thinking I was dumb and only until, life did I realize that I actually had a lot to offer and I was really smart.
Right.
And the school system always made me feel like I was dumb because they were trying to have you learn in a certain way. It's almost like
wait, you're nailing a topic that's huge to me that me and my boy was talking about.
It's like when you're a fish and you're in school with like a squirrel and they want you to climb a tree as a test. And it's like, I actually don't come with that, but that doesn't mean that I can't swim for hours and that I don't have all these other things that I offer.
So let's run that back real quick. Because that's a huge topic, the school system thing. Oh, I'm about to get passionate. I feel it coming from my feet. You feel it? Just like, come to me. Why is it, this eats me up, that our school system in America, and I'm not getting too political here, makes us learn things that we ain't never gonna use anywhere in our life? What has trigonometry done for you?
No,
what is algebra 2 done for you? Unless I'm going into freaking architecture or when I'm building stuff, I don't need to know the freaking circumference of an octagon.
And it's bigger than that because they make you learn that stuff because that's a college requirement. And why? That's really what it is.
Yep.
Why is that a college requirement? That you need to know these things because, and here's another thing. Here's another thing to go back into a little bit of history and to shout out my grandmother.
Come on, Grandma.
Who passed, but she was the first African-American president of the San Diego School Board. One thing that she was fighting was that in a lot of the blacker areas, they didn't offer certain classes. So then you wouldn't even be able to be accepted into certain colleges because they didn't have it. It's set up to fail.
Wow.
So now she had to bring that. So on the other side, it's like, damn, why'd you do that? Because now some of these schools,
I know.
like,
Okay,
dang,
so
I
that
didn't want
actually
that.
shuts me up. That actually makes me feel bad for what I said because it's like now I'm kind of thankful that we have pointless classes.
I mean, it's good that we have it because it also means you probably went to a school that cared about you. But also, in general, the entire system, why is that needed to be in college? Like, what does that have to do? And I went to school for mass media arts with a concentration in radio, television, and film. What does algebra 2 have to do with that? And why do I need that
Teach me how to add, subtract, and multiply.
Teach me taxes.
What we use. What?
Teach me taxes. Teach me cooking.
My boy that's watching, did I not say this?
Teach me cleaning.
Teach me tax. How you know that
Teach me child raising.
Every single citizen in America, can't speak for other countries, is obligated to do taxes. Why is that not taught in school? There's no reason why, as an adult, where I'm like, I don't know how to do this still.
And teach me nutrition. Teach me real nutrition. Teach me actually life skills that'll help.
Man.
Because you know that they do that in like back in the day, Native Americans, they were actually learning life skills. It's not like they're sitting over there learning like how to set up a camera
after
or something.
Adding and subtracting, I've never used any other form of math. Think about it, like straight up.
I've used like fractions.
When? Let's talk about that.
Oh, when I'm looking at the thing on the cooking sign when I need to for measuring cups.
I digress. Fair enough. Other than that,
nah.
That's algebra 1. After algebra 1, well, that's probably not even algebra. Whatever. Algebra 1 is a max.
There was truly no reason actually.
Why did you need to know pi?
I don't.
3.1. What? For who?
There was no reason.
And it's a waste of money and time.
It's a waste. And then not only that,
we're buying those textbooks,
we're
taxed on those things.
And
at
the end, they expect everybody to test the same. And then you're judged. You're judged by your entire life, and your thinking is judged by.
And that's not how my brain works. Like, I'm not him.
Other people were coming to the country. Mm-hmm. I watched this, and they interviewed a bunch of kids who started learning in America versus their other country. Yeah. And then they said, what is different? And then they said, and what don't you like? And they said, the testing. They make you do these tests to try to show like what you know. Yeah. And they're like, they don't do that in my country. And then they use those tests to try to judge funding and try to say like, oh, well, then we won't give you, which doesn't make sense because it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to give you guys a certain amount of money. Your test scores are low. And it's like, don't they need more? Don't they need more? Also, another thing, if I can't afford to pay my parking ticket, don't fine me. What are you doing? And then after a certain amount,
you get the same response you got the first time. No money.
You know what? And if I can't afford to get medical treatment, take care of me anyway. Man. I'm gonna die because I can't afford to live.
But that honestly is a beautiful place to round that topic out. Is the other countries' view on it. Granted, we have a lot of perks of America.
We do have a lot of perks.
Let's not ignore the reality. But there's also a lot of downfalls.
But also, they make it kind of seem like, oh, if you don't like something, America, leave. And it's like, actually, if I don't like something in my relationship, I'm gonna fix it.
Ooh,
it doesn't mean you leave. It means I still want to be with you. We're just gonna work it out.
But see, that goes back to the root of your Christianity, which a lot of things were founded upon originally that we've lost. Because I'm like, that is the heart of that should be the Christian heart, where it's like, let's let's be here.
I don't
let's
give
work
up on
this.
you just because, and it doesn't have to be just like your way or the highway.
But
It's
we're
like,
dealing with egos that aren't rooted in something bigger than themselves. So it's like we're dealing with people that are like, I don't rock with it, deuces. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't getting money from it, deuces. Like, they don't have the patience and the care to figure stuff out. But what you said about other countries, that's what upsets me so much about our system. Like,
no, I would homeschool my kids.
Interesting.
I'd homeschool them.
Do you feel like
I feel like the homeschool kids are so smart.
Agreed. But
They're
what
so
about the
smart.
social side?
Well, now so many kids are homeschooled because of school shootings, and that not being something that we're addressing.
But I guess you can still put them in sports and they can socialize.
Yeah, and they have there's so many kids in homeschool and they have like communities.
Oh, well, they can have little hangouts.
Yeah,
like recess.
So they do. So they have hangouts like twice a week, 3 times a week, and like it gives kids a chance to socialize.
I'm on the fence about that. Like,
no, I mean it's not going to be the same.
Right.
It's definitely not the same. But also,
I like it though.
But also, I want my kids to learn things.
I'm over here acting like she needs my, like we're over here like trying to figure it out for each other. Like, I don't know if I can handle that, babe.
Yeah.
And she's like, ain't nobody asking for your view. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, that's it's just always upset it, not a word, but we're gonna roll with it. Me that like we learn stuff. It's forcing us to learn things that that's why I appreciate trade schools in other countries where it's like, learn what's going to lead me to my path, right?
No, please.
So it's like, and granted, I guess
but sometimes you change your path.
You don't know. Right. So
because I thought I was going to go to school for art.
Fair enough.
And then I changed my degree because teacher said they didn't like the color of my bubble, and I said, and for what, I don't know why that discouraged me. So I don't know why it did, but
like
it did.
Literally the color of your bubble?
of my bubble.
Like you colored
it was supposed to be blue, blue, white, and I made it blue, white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that really to me was too much. I said, oh, we're not going to work in this relationship. I said, oh, no.
And where'd you go to school?
I went to Clark Atlanta University.
Come on, Clark Atlanta. Hey, stand up.
I did. I went to an HBCU, and it was the best thing that I ever did. Because
I tried to get into. It's great.
Oh, yeah. You should have tried again the next year.
To the next year?
You should have tried again the next year.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know about all that. But I ended up going to that New York school, so I was fine.
You know what? My GPA was pretty trash as well. And I ended up talking to somebody who was able to kind of like bypass me.
Oh, that's good.
And that's how and that also was the only school that I applied for.
Ooh.
I didn't apply for a bunch of schools. I knew I went to visit Clark Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I felt something. And I said, well.
You want to know what put me on to like HBCUs?
Stomp the Yard.
Drumline, close. Oh. But Stomp the Yard is like, yo, wait, which came first?
Drumline.
Okay, so it was Drumline. Yeah. Because at first I was going to say, if Stomp the Yard came first, then it was Stomp the Yard. But Drumline put me on, like I was like, yeah.
They don't understand too, the more HBCU movies you make, the more kids will want to go to 100%. HBCUs. They said that the highest, they had the most applications, whatever, for HBCUs when A Different World was on.
Oh.
That was the most Black people trying to go to college.
Wow.
It does make you want to go to college.
Yeah, but as far as HBCUs, depicting it would help a lot because I saw it in Drumline and that's what made me want to go. And then Stomp the Yard came through and I was like,
it's exactly how it is.
That's good.
It's exactly how it is.
It made me want to be in a frat too. Stomp the Yard, I want to be like,
they made me want to be in a frat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, okay.
Can I ask you?
Yeah. Is this on the record or off?
On the record.
Yeah. Be back in.
What's your type?
Oh, okay. So controversial statement because people act like they know my type because of what I've dated. But the only common denominator between what I've dated, because let me be candid, I've dated multiple ethnicities. Now, whether you only saw me with the white girl or the Black girl or the mixed girl or the Asian girl, that's your problem, okay? But people would be like, they think I only date one certain type because that's who they saw me with.
You think you date white girls?
Oh, that's what the common assumption is. But I'm like, that's cap. And then they also think, I'm gonna tell you what my actual type is after all, sorry. They also think that if I'm gonna date Black, I would only date mixed. Okay? And now I've dated all these things.
Yeah.
But my actual type is, this is what I like to say, extreme. Like the word extreme. And what I mean by that is I'm attracted to like fashion things. So when I say fashion, I mean like you, where it's like, if you're like nice, silky, like Kelly Rowland, Lupita Nyong'o, Loren Lott, where it's like silky and beautiful Black, or the middle of like exotic and mixed of a bunch of whatever. Or if it's on the white side, I would even date super fair pale.
Oh, so it's the extreme of
extremes.
So you like, oh yeah, no.
I like
you
an
could be dark
artsy
skinned,
look.
but you gotta be like
dark.
buttery and dark.
Yeah, if you're gonna be
Butter,
dark,
if you're gonna be dark,
absolutely.
And you say if you're gonna be mixed, you better be mixed.
And I have no.
If you're gonna be white, you better be delicious white.
Like I haven't.
That's fair.
I haven't found myself attracted to like
a regular.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go through all the ethnicities so nobody's like judged. But like white and I tan. I'm like cute. Okay, do you? I'm like down there. I'm like, oh, I'm black, but like I'm like kind of like I don't know. I'm like no. I'm like, what you gonna be? And it's not your fault because you're born how you're born. But I've been drawn more to extreme looks, and that's just my own eye. Like technically, my celebrity crushes.
Something like striking.
Striking for
like
me,
striking.
in my opinion, of striking.
Of any race, any whatever.
Yep.
It's like
the
something has to
striking
strike
version
you.
of it. 100%.
The striking version of it.
The striking version of it. And that can be any features. Now, people will roast me and be like, all your girls look like you. They might be different ethnicities, but your type is pageant girls, where they all look like they could be in a pageant. Like, I don't care what
then
ethnicity
so
they are.
be it. If you pulling baddies, then pull baddies.
And the common denominator is, what I'm hearing is that they be bad. So if they look like they could be in a pageant, they're probably attractive.
Pretty girls. You date pretty
Would you ever do a
girls.
pageant? You could win.
I
Ever consider
I
that?
would do a pageant.
Yeah.
I would do
you
a
would kill
pageant. It's the preparation for a pageant that I wouldn't want to do. That's why I always
my
kind of
sister did
opted out.
pageants, and it's a whole process.
It's a preparation.
Yeah.
And I put that much prep into my social media and into my acting life.
She's like, I'm
and
booked.
Let me tell you, social media is a job.
Yeah, you kill it.
And acting is a job. And to juggle them both full time is a job.
And let me say this. You're amazing at all of them.
Thank you.
And I am so thankful for your friendship.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for your heart. I'm thankful
Years
for your
of friendship.
support. Like the way you show up, even though we don't talk all the time, like the way you support me, you would think that on our downtime, we'd be kicking it all the time, blah, 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 blah. But you've always remembered me. You've always respected me.
But you know what I love about you?
Uh-oh.
You know what I love about that?
What?
I don't have the capacity, unfortunately, to give to everybody that I love on a daily basis.
Okay, so it works out.
And so it works out that I have people like you in my life who it's like, when we do kick it, it's like nothing happened.
Yep.
It's like the same. It's not like, hey, well, I ain't heard from you.
Right.
Because it's like, trust me, I would love to kick it with all my people. But now it's like, there's so many people.
Yep.
And not only that, I'm going to show up when you need me to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we do kick it, it's going to be great.
Yep.
But like the daily,
especially
if you're trying to date or if you're trying to do things, it's like
if you're
the
trying
capacity.
to pursue careers.
And even like what people don't talk about is like yesterday I was at a premiere.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing big premiere.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
When you do a lot of events and premieres, there used to be a time when I would prepare and plan for one event, and then I would need like 3 days of sleep almost after an event, because it would be so much. Now I'm at events several times a week. 2 days ago, maybe 3 now, I was in Aruba. Then last night I'm at this big premiere. And then this weekend I'm gonna be gone again, going to see some Broadway shows to support people. It's like it's a life and it takes so much. So it's like the time. So now in that downtime, I used to fill up every minute with friends and doing things. Now I have to spend time with me and sleep.
Yeah.
And then if you're trying to start dating, you got to spend time with a boo, and you have to make that a priority if you want to have a future with somebody and you want to blah, blah, blah. It's a thing.
Right.
Life is a thing. So I appreciate the use, because all my friends now are like you.
Good.
Like energy wise, not the draining energy, but like somebody cool and all that.
We can hold our own space when we see each other. It's fantastic.
It's great.
If not,
like,
we have stuff to do.
And the catch ups are great. And it's like,
but even more so, thank you for the support always. Because we're talking like she be pulling up to music videos, to shows, live shows, to like from jump. Like it's not just like, oh, we both like climbing in success and now I'm showing up because maybe there's something this has been from jump. So you a real one. Thank you for doing this podcast.
You've
been fire. Y'all follow Loren. What's your stuff?
At LorenSharice. Loren Sharice.
Loren Sharice.
That's actually what I say.
Do you really?
I do. I say Sharice. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for your love.